Hi guys, welcome to our short passages about the Dao De Jing. This is going to be a little video series that I'm making. It's part of a broader project called 81 Months of the Dao De Jing, where I've been having some classes and some public talks on YouTube to discuss all of the chapters of the Dao De Jing over the course of approximately 81 months. But in this video series, we're just going to talk about individual passages. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the first passage of the Dao De Jing, Dao Ke Dao, Fei Zhang Dao. So Dao, this idea is often said to be intangible, or it can't be spoken, or it's something that's beyond human knowledge, but it happens to be the thing that sort of suffuses the entire universe, which is a pretty reasonable explanation of it. But today I thought we would focus on Chen Yingning's explanation. So Chen Yingning, near contemporary Taoist figure. He was the founder of the immortality school of Taoist meditation practice, and he made major contributions to Taoism in the philosophical sense and in the practical sense. His conception of why we can't speak of the Tao is because this is sort of it's the primary creative force of the universe, which exists before all other things exist. And so as a result of existing before all other things exist, that means that this Tao activity, it even predates any sense of oneness, but especially predates duality. As a result of that, it means that there's no possible observer for that event. It's sort of like saying, if you could go back to the Big Bang, there's no observer there because it predates any existing thing in our current universe, right? That's approximately a reasonable sort of comparison that you could make. And so in that regard, if this thing doesn't have a counterpart, then there's no way to observe its activity. But if you analyze the character Dao, it's essentially made up of two halves. So the first half is pronounced Chuo, C-H-U-O. And it describes the movement of something from one place to another. The other half, on the right side, is pronounced Shou. And it means like the leader or the head of something, or the first in a series. And so the idea of Chuo and Shou being Dao is that the leader or the first in a series is being carried from one place to another. In other words, this is the first thing that happens that causes all other subsequent things to happen. So anything that happens in the universe, which is defined as the Wanwu, or the myriad beings, then ultimately comes from this spontaneous initial event which predates all other forms of being. And so it can't be described as either being or non-being, yin or yang, or any of those, because it's the thing that comes before all of them. Therefore, this is why we can't state the Tao. So Dao Ke Dao, Fei Zhang Dao, right? The Tao which can be said to be the Tao is not the constant Tao, is very wrapped up in this kind of idea about the primary generative force and the primary mover of the universe, which is always present, and its signature is always present in everything that exists, but at the same time has no counterpart and has no observer. Therefore, it's impossible to fathom what it really is through any of our sensory or observational abilities. And this really underlies a lot of the thinking of people in the Taoist world in relation to how they understand the universe to work, how they understand spirituality to operate, right? All of these things are attached to this initial Tao event, which existed before reality and also was never corrupted even after the universe existed, right? So that's an approximate, really basic interpretation of that first passage, Dao Ke Dao, Fei Zhang Dao. So see you again in the next one, and hopefully that'll be soon. I hope that you found this useful, and thanks for watching.